friends, very nice to see you. This week I'm in Croatia and it's so amazing. It's so hot here, still so hot. It's already autumn and really cold in Austria. But here it's really warm, and to be honest I'm already here for around about a week or so because I've been waiting for the right weather conditions and I got them already, but it was too windy and I read that it's too dangerous to come here. When it's windy it's better to have less wind, and today it's really fantastic. So fingers crossed that it's possible to get a really fantastic shot here, and I would say let's try for that. What an amazing place, and some of you might recognize this place. This is a place where one of the Vinnetou movies was filmed. I'm not sure which one or which scene, so if anyone should know, just leave a comment below. They're really interesting, and yeah, we don't have Apaches here or Comanches or something like that. Just old Shatterhand with the camera. No, forget this. It's really fantastic. We have the sun here at the right hand side, really a really high visual weight in this scene, and this mountain at the left hand side. Yeah, in the moment it's not illuminated, it was illuminated a little bit before, and it really balanced the scene really nicely. Now we have some clouds up there, so it's blocking here the sunlight. And I think it's really windy up there. Yeah, it will go over there, and yeah, it will really look fantastic when we have the left hand side here illuminated. I have this rock here with these bushes here in my foreground, and I really like this repetition of these cracked rocks here everywhere, and these lines and shapes. It's really fantastic. From the technical side, yeah, I'm at f14, I'm at around about 17 millimeters, no filters or so, and I would say, let's make the click. It's half an hour to sunset, but we had the best light already, and this is the reason why I'm already looking for a sunrise composition. The only thing is, I got a tip here from a friend to visit this place, and what he said is, Christian, be careful because of vipers. So I'm really careful, you know. I really don't like snakes, to be honest. So what I'm currently thinking is how the light will be tomorrow morning. I thought about photographing in that direction. The sun will go up here at the left hand side and would illuminate everything at the right hand side. What I think is a quite nice feature would be this corner here, this kind of nose here of this mountain. So this could look really pretty good. We could get really fantastic plasticity here. This would be a nice feature. What I also like here, all these dead bushes here. It's really amazing. I really like this. It's just the question if it's possible to include something like that into the composition. You see it's quite filigrane and really small and thin, and it could be that it would not really get a prominent foreground or something like that. You had to go really close and lots of contrast, and it could work. What I think is maybe I will try it a little bit more in that direction to get this nose here a little bit more prominent. But this is what I'm currently trying. It's just each step I do is really I look not to step at a viper or something like that. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, it is. I'm just careful, you know. The sun set already back there, and to be honest, I can't really focus to find a sunrise composition here, to be honest, because each step I do, I'm just focused on not stepping on a snake, on a viper. I mean, I haven't seen one, I haven't heard one or something like that. It's just here in my head, and it doesn't make sense. I mean, when I'm right now, when it's bright here and I can see everything, when I feel here ready for snakes, I also can't imagine to come here when it's dark in the early morning. So what I will do here now is, because I anyway want to get a photograph tomorrow morning, I will go back there to an area where it's a little bit more secure, because here, when you look here, it really looks like, Vinnetou could be behind any bush or something like that. I don't feel Vinnetou or something like that. It's just, there is definitely the one other snake here, and I know this, and that's not good. So I will go back there where it's a little bit, clearer place, and so where not all the many snakes maybe, but it's also more safe to walk tomorrow. My wife is also there. It's much more safe there, so whenever my wife is there, snakes flight. No, I'm not sure about that. And I will work on the composition there. The sun set already, so I'm not sure how long it will stay bright enough to work on the composition, but you know, there's only one way to find out, and I would say let's try for that. So the path has me again, so it's more secure up here. And I always hear a little bit of rattling or something like that. I'm not sure if also rattlesnakes are living here. Oh man, what an adventure. So I think I will try for a shot in that direction. I mean, the sun will go up here, so we will have more backlight or something like that. But I think it anyway could work to have the light at the right hand side of the canyon. Now we had it at the left hand side. I'm not sure about that. I never thought about that, to be honest. And yeah, anyway, I have to walk down here one of these small paths between these bushes. That's not good. That's really not good. Now I found a composition I really like, but I'm not 100% sure about the light, to be honest. So what I really like is this feature here of these rocks back there, these cracked rocks here, this nose here what goes up. I always say nose here. Here are lots of noses, but however, I really like that, and the contrast it gives to the lake down there. I mean, it's not really a lake, it's a river, it's a canyon. I'm just not sure, because I thought about taking this bush here in my foreground, also with this rock here, the rock here left beside, the rock back there, and so on, and it will lead you fantastically back to the distance. But to be honest, I'm really struggling here because of the light. It would be much better and much easier to photograph in that direction. But when we photograph in that direction, the sun will go up exactly at the other side, so everything here will be totally flat. The only option I see in the moment is to photograph when everything in the distance gets already illuminated and we have shadow in the foreground. And the problem here is that it is too complicated here in the foreground. We don't get plasticity, we don't get definition here, and we don't get depth in the foreground. So it would be better to go for a more simple composition. But what we could also do is we could maybe wait a little bit longer, that the sun goes a little bit up higher, and that we get also illuminated some peaks there and where. It's really difficult. It's really difficult. But I like this place, I have to say. I think I will go back to my van now, stay there overnight, and come back tomorrow morning and fine-tune the ideas I have in the moment. What a fantastic place, isn't it? It is really amazing. Very good morning. I didn't close an eye this night. I was really not able to sleep because, of the composition. I always had to think about the composition and the interaction with the light. It's really not ideal here. It's really not ideal. It would be much better to photograph to the other direction. But as already mentioned, too many snakes, or at least I think there are too many or something like that. However, what I think is there are two options. One option were really just take a simple shot, but I'm not sure if I really want to do that, because there are so many fantastic features I want to use. That's so bad. And the second possibility would be to go for the more complicated composition and try for a time blending. So this means that I take multiple exposures, or two exposures, one for the distance and one for the foreground. The only problem here is that it could be that I would make a shadow to the foreground when the sun comes exactly behind me. I will think about that again, and fingers crossed that it's possible to get a really fantastic photograph here. I waited for really a week here now. It's really so bad, because it was not possible to come here because of the wind. Yeah, it is how it is, I can't change it. The light was so amazing back there. We had an orange stripe before there in blue hour, and now what we have is a pink stripe up there. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's up there, we have this cloud, and it gets, we have this nice contrast with the cloud and the pink background, and it looks really fantastic. I've built up the more complicated, or not complicated, the more complex composition here. And a more important thing here is to get this nose here, I mentioned it yesterday, this nose here isolated from the shadow back in the distance. And from a technical side, I'm at f16 because I'm quite close to my foreground element. This rock down there in front of the bush, that's really, really close. And the bush itself is also really close. And then the nose back there, the rocks back there, and all the mountains in the distance. It's so fantastic, it's really cool. I don't have to focus stick here, by the way. If 16 is really enough, I focus to a quite distant point here. If you should know how to focus, where to focus in landscape, I made already a video about that. I will link it up there for you. Now I would say the cloud looks really fantastic now, and also the pink now also is really a fantastic contrast now. It really can determine the cloud now fantastically, and I would say let's make the click. Get already some golden clouds up there. Also, the cloud here in the front is already starting to colorize a little bit. Looks really pretty good. And the question is now, should we stick to this composition or should we go for another one? Because I took already the shot. So what I think is, there is no right or wrong or something like that. But what I think is this composition works really fantastically, and I really thought about my options yesterday evening. And I think this is really, I don't want to say it's the best possible composition here at this place, but it's the best possible composition for me to interpret this place, and it doesn't make sense to me to look for another one. It's better to stick with this composition for me, and to wait for the light, how it is changing. It turns the cloud now amazingly back there. And I would say we'll wait here a little bit, wait for the right timing, then I will expose. What we definitely don't get with front light is we don't get plasticity, and so what we can do is we can use sunspots there and where to get a little bit more depth into our scene, and this is what I'm trying to do now. You can see the sun is going up here right now. This was the original plan to photograph in that direction. Usually you would get a fantastic plasticity there. The sky is a little bit boring here, so yeah, I don't regret to photograph in that direction now, to be honest. What we can do to get more plasticity, to get more depth in our scene, is to play with light spots there and where. And obviously when the sun goes up, the distant mountains will be illuminated first, and so we can take the shot. I mentioned yesterday that I'm unhappy because of the foreground, that we don't get all too much plasticity there. This is the case, to be honest, but I think with subtle sunlight in the distance, it could anyway work. 2 or 3 more minutes, then I will expose. It is really fantastic. It's so calm here. What I'm currently waiting for is 2 things actually. On the one hand, we have this line going back there from the shadow below these kind of rocks back there. But I also really like the reflection down in the lake or in the river, whatever it is. And it really accentuates this right nose here really fantastically. You know what I mean by nose? It is really amazing. I really don't regret that I had to come here for photography, for taking this shot here and not back there, because I was scared of the snakes. And so yeah, really big thanks to all snakes out there supporting me to getting this shot here. I'm so happy with this one. And what I forgot to mention before is we also got a little bit of a light spot down at this bush here, and this really adds to the composition because we get this fantastic sense of depth. I mean, now we don't have any light spot anymore, but before we had a light spot on the bush, and we have this light spot in the foreground, the light spots back there, and this really adds to this sense of depth here in this image. We get plasticity and all these things we really need for a fantastic photograph. And friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, please give me a thumb up, and don't forget to tune in next week. There will come a fantastic video as well. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.